one is unified mobility. Now, what is unified mobility? We have talked about device mobility, extension mobility, in which we are able to log into the same user profile. In one case, we are taking the device itself to another location. In other, we are using the extension mobility settings or user profile to be able to log into any other device within or outside of the location. So, what is unified mobility? Any idea?
No, I have no idea.
All right, no problem. So, unified mobility is used for remote user. Let's suppose you want to log in using your mobile phone, yeah, or a remote phone. That is called unified mobility. So here we will see how. So there are some issues of users with multiple devices. So what happens with multiple devices? No centralized logging is there. Different numbers are visible internally and externally to the customers. There's a limited access to enterprise features and no centralized voicemail is there. Calls cannot be switched seamlessly between the devices. That is a problem with multiple devices in device mobility. So, what Cisco Unified Mobility feature is? So, Cisco Unified Mobility features gives DEX pickup, mobile voice access, enterprise feature access. Mobile voice access is one of the main difference. Intelligent session control, dual mode phones, single number reach, move to mobile. Right? This is what Unified Mobility provides. So here we can see an example. We have a single number reach. There we can see a CUCM. We have an office phone. Then we have a remote phone with the same extension we have provided there. Now, what if there is an incoming PSTN call to an office? So when the call is coming to the PSTN phone in the office, the outside caller calls phone office 2001 and dials this number, which is its PSTN number, the standard number for this user. The mobile connect rings office phone and the remote phone both, right? So as on the CUCM, we have mobile connect enabled, which is used for this unified mobility to be able to map a number, an office number with a mobile or a remote phone that can be done. And as the CUCM receives this request from the outside destination from an outside caller, it will send this call to the office phone as well as the remote phone. The call is picked up at the remote phone. Now, let's say this user, if let's say this is my phone in the desk, I'm not available in the office today. I have uh, configured unified mobility and I have my phone associated with this phone. So, any calls which are coming for this desk phone in my office, I can receive it on my remote phone and my mobile phone as well. So, if I answer from there, the caller ID of the outside user is preserved at remote phone. So it will now appear here and the call will not no longer be coming on this phone. Okay.
Sorry.
Just
Now, this remote
so
phone. Can I
mhm.
ask you a question? Now, this remote phone, does it use Jabba or is this your normal number, like cell phone number?
uh it is supported on the Android as well. You
Just
just have to
Android.
but right and it has to be through the PSTN connection. So that that is what is required for this. It can be done for any remote phone. It can be a mobile phone, but it should be a PSTN connection to that mobile phone.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, that's what we do to the provider. We provide that this is the number we want to associate with the same line also. So there are features to you know uh, add remote phones, the wireless phones as well. All right. So then a call from a remote phone to the office. If let's say a remote phone makes a call to the office, now I am in outside from my mobile phone. Now I want to make a call inside. So the outside caller calls office phone this by dialing this PSTN number. The mobile connect replaces this caller ID of the remote phone with the directory number of the associated phone. Now, as this phone, mobile phone, is associated with a directory number within the organization, what will happen when this similar phone will make a call? This CUCM knows, okay, this number is mapped with an internal number 2001. So this will be replaced. So its original number, which is its PSTN number, this one, will be replaced by this extension and the caller, yeah, the caller will receive the call, whatever it has dialed to. Then mobile voice access. This is one of the feature needs to be enabled for this. So call from a remote phone to a PSTN number here. So let's say the remote phone dials mobile voice access number this. Now caller is authenticated at the CUCM and request calls to outside destination. So this user wants to make a call outside. Now what will happen? It will first go via the PSTN and then the gateway to the CUCM where your mobile voice access is enabled. There it will check its configuration, its database, and then it will forward the call to the outside destination to this one. This 9 is added as per whatever pattern is configured in CUCM. This is the code for the international calls. The caller is connected to mobile voice access media resource from which the outgoing call is placed on behalf of the phone 2001 on behalf of this user on the desk phone. But as I am outside and my mobile phone is mapped and associated with this device uh, configuration or this desk phone DN also, I can make calls on behalf of this user or this phone particularly. So in unified mobility, there are some considerations for CSS, access control, mobile voice access, so that we will see. For CSS handling, calls from remote destination to internal numbers can be done. Calls to office phone to remote destinations, inbound voice access calls, outbound voice access calls that we saw in the examples, in the different examples. These can be done and we can configure specific CSS for those. So with CSS, it will be some additional security and privileges we will be giving. So only the users who have the CSS to make those calls will be able to make or access those numbers and this mobility feature. Access control can be done for remote destination, time allowed, caller ID allowed, all these information. Now, if let's say you have a remote user for which you have unified mobility enabled, you can filter and you can control the access using the access control feature for per remote destination, time allowed for what period of time you want to allow that remote user to be able to receive calls and make calls, caller ID allowed or not, that can be controlled as well. Then in mobile voice access, two things we need to know is mobile voice access use the out of band DTMF and for the gateway, MGCP is not supported, so SIP and HTTP must be used and not MGCP, as MGCP does not support mobile voice access. So here we can see that the mobile voice access within MGCP, PSTN gateway, it does not support MVA, mobile voice access, so it is not possible. On the other hand, we have another gateway, which is an H323 gateway, which supports mobile voice access. The CSS management in single number reach. So CSS can be configured for outbound PSTN calls to remote destination or inbound calls for remote destination using the gateways. Then again for CSS, the same thing is there. If we are doing the CSS management, again the same thing will happen. Mobile voice access for MGCP gateway will not be supported, whereas for HTTP or SIP it will be. Then ring schedule. So like we discussed access control. In access control, we can control the time for a scheduled time that what time we want to create a ring schedule for this remote destination or any remote phone that can be configured as well. It's like the time schedule we configure. We can configure access list. Access list will be to filter traffic, to permit or deny traffic. So let's say I want to say that only my subnet, which is 10.150/24, should be permitted to access this particular service. It can be for various other services, in this case, like unified mobility. I want to allow this subnet only and deny rest all, like any other or any specific uh, subnet I can mention for that. So that is what access list can be used for.